Hi everyone, my name is Madison Smith, and I am here today to share with you information on my vision statement slideshow, which is a reflection of my projected career position. Throughout this presentation, I will cover various learning types and concepts, and we will touch on hidden curriculum. We will discuss the achievement gap along with cultural bias that occurs in educational environments. Throughout this presentation, I hope that you're able to get a glimpse of what I believe being culturally aware looks like in my projected career field as a director in a child care facility. There are a total of 6 lessons that are covered throughout this presentation, all of which include diverse concepts and theories that will be or are currently being applied to my work setting. So let's jump right in. As a future educator, we want to provide all of our future learners with a safe and inclusive environment for them to develop and grow in a developmentally appropriate manner. So this slide really is going to cover the learners, the various types of learners, and the hidden curriculum that we are all well aware of in the educational field. Just like the article from Diverse Learning Styles in Early Childhood Education states, providing an environment that incorporates several learning styles will help all of your students stay engaged, excited, and ready to learn. End quote. Hidden curriculums can be barriers to our children in learning environments, and it is critical to me that as a future child care director, I create a facility that is full of educators who support the learning style of discovery and that respect every child's dream, background, and culture. So regardless where they come from, we will support children through their journey of childhood in hopes to give them all the skills that they need to be successful adults. Here are the course references and the outside references that were used. The quote that I stated was an outside reference that I found. The achievement gap is something that I feel quite strongly about, and during the course of completing this slide, it was definitely a lesson that stood out to me in various ways. In my child care facility, I hope to create an environment that regardless of where our learners, staff, and families come from, that their cultures will be used to enhance the vision of an inclusive, anti-bias educational curriculum. It is my personal goal to one day work as the director in a child care facility where the majority of our families are economically disadvantaged. By providing the proper and respectful materials to our children and ensuring that children do not feel any type of cultural bias while they are in attendance, then I will succeed in being a voice for the families that come to me, needing a well-deserving educational experience for their young child. Again, here are the course references that were used and the outside reference that I found for this concept. Okay, slide 4, culture as a learning disability and interpreting cultural conflict in learning environments. We were given the opportunity to read a text during this lesson that really stood out to me about a child named Sherman Alexi, who shared his experience of dealing with cultural conflict while attending school on an Indian reservation. The text was a clear and evident example of miscommunication, lack of understanding, and lack of knowledge about cultures in the education system. It is my vision and goal to encourage our facility to be accepting, accommodating, and never settle when it comes to taking the labels off of the children who may have come from backgrounds where they have been given a cultural disability. I firmly believe that when a child has confidence, they can overcome anything. I want our young learners to feel the freedom to express themselves and have their culture celebrated through our classrooms to deter cultural conflict and disability. Again, here are the course references and the outside references. Slide 5 was focused on pop culture and core rituals. Core rituals support students and families in feeling a sense of belonging. It really creates the sense of importance in the classroom and with the facility itself. The use of pop culture and media is something that I feel that most educators in school environments try to stray away from in today's society. Before the study of this lesson, I completely understood and I honestly felt as the use of media should not be used throughout educational environments. However, after studying this course, I understand how promoting the use of positive pop culture media can be used to promote the idea of creativity and opinions of current issues going on in our world. The article from Creating Classroom Rituals by Truman Andrews stated that, and I quote, "Research shows that student achievement is improved when students are actively focused on educational goals, and this is made possible by establishing appropriate rituals, routines, and procedures at the beginning of the school year. The learning experience becomes more task-oriented and predictable, and therefore leads students to learn at their highest potential." End quote. Pop culture and media was one of the most eye-opening lessons that we went over for me personally, just because I did not think that pop culture and current media should be used in educational classrooms and environments today, just with today's society and everything going on in the world. After studying this topic more thoroughly, I learned that the use of pop culture throughout our classrooms can help incorporate relevant and engaging educational content into curriculums and classrooms. And so it is needed, and it can enhance the environment of your educational setting. Here are the course references I used and the outside references I used. I believe that one of the quotes that I stated in this was an outside reference as well. Okay. Slide 6 was focused on culturally responsive teaching. Culturally responsive teaching was actually one of my favorite concepts that we studied throughout this course. While pop media was the most, it changed my perspective the most. Culturally responsive teaching is one of my favorites to do just personally. By holding high expectations for my staff and students, it will create a positive classroom and facility environment that applies to not just multicultural learning, but also culturally responsive teaching. Culturally responsive education is important in establishing learning environments that promote success for students, all while offering an inclusive cultural environment. By applying various teaching methods and modifications, it will make our curriculum more appealing, enjoyable, and understanding to all of our students, regardless of their educational background. Diverse learning is such a beautiful concept and a goal that I will strive for daily as a director of a child care facility. Embracing the strengths of all of our students and families while addressing the diverse learning needs of our multicultural employees and students is a goal that I will strive for daily as a child care director. Here are the course references that were used and the outside reference that I took from this. Here are all of the references combined that were used throughout the course of this presentation. So in conclusion, I just want to say that throughout this presentation, I developed not only a vision statement for my future career, but I also discuss concepts that focused around the idea of what being culturally aware as a child care facility director may look like. I hope that throughout this presentation, you were able to get a glimpse of what my vision looks like for an educational environment where diversity and inclusion will be essential. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for the opportunity to create this presentation and all of the learning concepts that came with it.